Welcome back to True Stories Paranormal Survivor. Happy Thursday. Hope all of you are having a fantastic one. And I hope you're looking forward to an eerie yet intriguing experience. I've got to tell you, this one has me so intrigued. I'm interested. I want to know more. So let's get right into it, okay? So I have a YouTube channel where it's called Sweet Tea Hot Topics with Rashika. And I was recording my YouTube channel, and I noticed that when I went back into editing, that something happened. I heard something, and that wasn't there when I was recording. And it's very rare that I hear things in recording, but it's pretty usual that while I am recording that I see things. So I have been recording before, and a big giant orb has gone, like literally come from my chest area and kind of like bounced around in the room, or I've seen orbs kind of bounce around in the space. I've actually heard things in the distance as I go to talk about something, but I've never heard something this close to my microphone. Okay, so I was recording this blog for my YouTube channel, and so I recorded it, and I was going back editing. And I heard a sound like a very weird, right? Like, and I was like, wait a minute, that wasn't me, because I was actually talking, and I heard it. It was just very weird, very weird. Like it almost sounded exactly like that, and that's literally the best that I can do. And so after I got done editing and uploading the show, I talked to my daughter, and I was like, you have got to hear this. So she came over, and I played it back for her. And she was like, oh my God, Mama, that was so creepy. That was so eerie. And so I had gone to bed, and this was, I want to say, maybe a couple of nights ago. And I had laid down for bed, but I was actually in the bed. I hadn't laid down yet, and I was just kind of going over some things on my computer, whatever. And I started hearing these sounds that sounded very close to the sound of a woman. And I at first was wondering, like, could it just be, I don't know, just natural sounds, night sounds or whatever. And those sounds went on for maybe about, say, 5 minutes. And I was like, well, this is a good thing, it stopped. So I put everything down, and I lay down to go to bed, to go to sleep. And then it just got more frequent, and it got louder, and it was I'm like, what the heck is happening? And I could hear this sound so loudly. And I'm like, you know what? Because typically entities will come through, and they want to chat, and they want to, whatever. However they want to come through, they will come through. And so this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking an entity is trying to come through, and I'm not here for it. I'm ready to go to bed. It's almost midnight. And friends, that is exactly what I did. I laid down and I went to sleep. And then last night, almost the exact same thing happened. I got into the bed. I was preparing to get comfortable, and I started hearing that, I'm like, what is this? So this time, it didn't sound as if the sound was coming within my home. It sounded like the sound was outside my window. And so, lie to you guys, God honest truth, I have no idea what this was, but this was happening. And so I'm like, I'm not getting into it. I really am not in the mood to be connecting. I don't know what's going on outside. I don't know what this is. I'm really not even in the mood for discernment. And so I lay down and I'm trying to get relaxed. And now it's getting later and later. And this sound keeps going on. And I'm like, how is this still happening? It went on and on and on. And then I started hearing the sound of it sounded like a dog, but it sounded like a dog or an animal that was in distress. And I pull my covers back, and this is like about it had to be like 111, 112, because I remember seeing double numbers when I looked at my phone. And this is seriously 100% God honest truth, will not lie. So I take my covers, I flip my covers back, and I take one leg off the bed because I'm now like, I've got to see what is going on. And it was, when I tell you guys, it was so close, like in my backyard. It was so close. This was not a sound that was like down the street or around the corner, or like I'm just hearing it like in the distance type of thing. This was like right outside my window or in some placement area in my yard. So when I take my leg and I take it off the bed, I literally could hear something say, "Do not go to the window. Don't do it." And I'm like, what? I'm like, something is happening in my yard. Maybe there is an animal that is in distress. Literally, I got the feeling like that just came over me. That was like, if I would have gone to that window, I probably would have had the worst experience. And I don't know if this was going to be like a supernatural experience, but I just got this feeling over my body that was just like stopping me, and it was telling me, do not go to the window. Guys, I'd lie to you not. I put my leg back in the bed, I put the cover back over me, and I sat there and I listened to the sound. It sounded like an animal, but it sounded like an animal in distress. And then in some weird form, it almost sounded like it was like it was human, but non-human. I don't even know how to explain it. Literally, guys, I'm telling you, I'm doing the best that I can. And but it was so worrisome because I am an animal lover. I get up in the morning and I connect with the animals and the trees and the sun, and I do my grounding. And so I'm used to even seeing owls in the daytime and squirrels coming up, to me when I'm on my deck. And so I'm really connected, right? So, it was literally driving me insane that I was like, this sounds like an animal in distress. But in some weird form, I don't know how to put it for you guys. In some weird form, it sounded like an animal, but it sounded kind of human, but not really human. I know that probably freaks you out and makes you super confused. But between the and the like, I can't do it, guys. And there was not even a sound. I couldn't even locate a sound that sounded like it. I've never heard anything like this before. I've never even had an experience like this before. And you guys know I have experienced some really wildly crazy stuff. And I have never, ever experienced anything like this. Now, I am familiar with the sound of an owl hooting at night. I know what that sounds like. I have opened up my front door and saw like deer just kind of hanging out, and then watched like a big giant orb go across the deer. Like, I've experienced some very crazy stuff, but I have never heard like, I don't know if the whatever it was communicating, but it was the most eerie sound because it sounds like this woman is in distress. And then it sounds like this thing, this being is in distress, and they weren't doing it at the same time. So like I heard the woman first and I heard her over and over and throughout the night. And then I started hearing this weird sound thing, and it went on and on and on. And then the sound of the woman sounded like she was crying, and oh my God, it was so eerie. She stopped. And then that animal sound, it just went on throughout the night. And then when I got that feeling of don't do it, do not go over to that window, I tell you, stopped me, I mean, right there. And because I heard that and I felt that, I literally was up to probably about 3 o'clock in the morning, hadn't had a good night rest. And I wonder now if that sound and that entity is the person that I heard so closely to my microphone when I was recording for my YouTube channel. It makes me wonder if they are the same exact entities. I have no idea. You are welcome to respond. You are welcome to tell me what you think is going on. I have absolutely no idea. Like some things I can process and go, maybe it was this or maybe it was that. But just the idea of hearing the voice that says, do not go over to the window. Wow. Like all I can tell you guys is, wow. It was unimaginable. Like this, it was a sound that you never want to hear. You never want to hear this. You never want to experience this. But I gotta tell you, friends, I am intrigued. I am intrigued. So I am thinking about setting up a camera tonight to see what I can gather. Because at first I was thinking, well, maybe I can set something up and like I can set up my fire pit and, and kind of hang out. But since I heard the voice that say, don't go over to the window, I don't think that's going to be all that safe. So I'm thinking about setting up cameras tonight to see if I can capture what this is. Or I don't know. I am intrigued by it. And if you are an investigator, you understand why I say I'm intrigued by it. But as a clairvoyant, it's almost a bit worrisome. But if I do get footage of what's happening at night, I will come back and share it here on True Stories Paranormal Survivor. And we'll talk more on tomorrow.